I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. A convicted felon is heading back to a familiar place, prison. George Wood was sentenced to 10 years behind bars for his 14th felony. At age 32, the career criminal was found guilty of escape and possession of a firearm by a felon. The incident happened last year at Circle K in Bunnell. Deputies say Wood refused to answer an officer's questions and took off, dragging a deputy who was holding onto the car before he crashed and was tased. Wood didn't pay much attention during sentencing and apparently flipped off a photographer in the courtroom. Prosecutors say he shows no remorse. His attorney argues his client has had a tough life and insisted he wasn't involved in any criminal activity when the deputy approached. He simply panicked. He faced up to 30 years in prison, which his attorney argued was overkill. The judge apparently agreed. Wood still faces trial for an armed burglary in Palm Coast. He's got a plea deal on the table that would add 15 years to his other sentence.
This portion of WNZF Local News, a service of the Daytona Beach International Airport. Fly to the Big Apple in a New York minute on JetBlue from the Daytona Beach International Airport.
A Palm Coast man accused of trying to kill his pregnant wife is back in the state to face charges. John Arking reports.
A Palm Coast man has been extradited back from Tennessee to Flagler County for attempting to kill his wife. 32-year-old Michael S. Wilson is accused of rigging his front door with live electrical wiring in an attempt to electrocute his wife December 27th. Wilson and his wife, who have an 18-month-old child together, were separated when he visited her in Knoxville, where she and her children were staying with her father. Police say that after staying just one night, he mysteriously left and drove back to Palm Coast, where he's alleged to have rigged the front door of his home so whoever tried to unlock the door would be electrocuted. The plot was foiled when the woman became suspicious and asked her stepfather to check the house, and he noticed burn markings on the doorknob. Other evidence found in the home led to a warrant being issued for Wilson's arrest for attempted aggravated battery on a pregnant person and grand theft. Wilson was booked in Thursday to the Flagler County Detention Facility and is being held on a $150,000 bond. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
For the past year, Sheriff Rick Staley has given the Flagler County Jail the nickname the Green Roof Inn. It appears the name has caught on. A new neon sign sits outside of the jail blinking vacancy. It was paid for through drug-seized assets. Underneath that sign is a list of accommodations for those checking into the jail, no doubt by force. Their accommodations include no privacy, no meal selection, and group showers, as well as free transportation to court and prison, and designer jewelry in the form of handcuffs. Another sign at the exit for inmates reminds them the light is always on and beds are always available in case they thought about allegedly breaking the law again. Staley says it's a reminder that the jail isn't a five-star hotel. Palm Coast's Birds of a Feather Festival takes flight this weekend. Rich Petchke has the details.
The fourth annual Birds of a Feather Fest runs through Sunday and features more than 125 miles of hiking, biking, and walking trails, miles of coastline, varied habitats, and more than 200 identified species. This year's event is hosted at Palm Coast City Hall on Lake Avenue, and on Saturday there will be free beginner bird walks every 2 hours. At 7 p.m., legendary wildlife photographer Moose Peterson will present a program with images and tales from his 4-decade career. Peterson's presentation will be at the Flagler Auditorium on the campus of Flagler Palm Coast High School, with doors opening at 6:30 p.m. The program is free, as are most of the festival's events. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Petchke.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.